Hello once again, lots of fans, and welcome back to another review. Now, if you could probably tell by the mask, I'm doing one on Daredevil, because I thoroughly enjoyed the show. I feel like it had good story, the way it threw you in there was awesome, I love that, and it had a very solid character development, in my opinion. So, I'm going to probably hop into those as soon as possible, and I'm going to try something new with this. Now, what I loved about the story was how there were three different stories that interlocked into one. It was like, I loved how Karen, Foggy, and Ben's all interlocked with Matt's and Fisk's, which they had their own little stories that went together. Now, because of this, it created a huge, intense story that may have been hard to follow at times, and I was able to follow it, so it shouldn't be that hard to follow, because I have a low attention span. And another thing I loved was they continuously referred to things from the Marvel Universe. Some things you would have caught on point, some things you might taken a bit to catch. With that, I think it had a well-rounded story. The story seemed every little bit of the interlocked stories felt in place. That's why I felt like the story was perfect. Now, the second part would be the character development. I felt like every character had their own little aspect that changed. Like, I really saw how Matt, throughout the series, it's like he starts off, aggressive, but he gets more aggressive as the story goes along. And it's not going against his beliefs as he gets more aggressive. It just improves his fighting style, and which is where something happens that I can't do, but those of you who know Daredevil, he gets something. Karen, throughout the series, it starts off where she's pretty much scarred from what happened to her, how they met. And I love how she has this thing where she just wants to find the truth. She doesn't care what it costs her, and which is where she meets Ben. Now, and with Ben, she uses him. Well, not uses. She goes alongside him to help find the truth of what's going on. Fisk. Now, you don't see Fisk up until later on, but with that, you see Fisk gets more of a feelings. Like, he starts off as a cold-blooded person, and then he meets this character where he has these feelings which changes him into like a better person, or so to speak. And Foggy, he also has the same thing a bit, but towards Karen, which is why he interlocks in Karen and Ben's story. Now I will be explaining the immersion, how it throws you into the movie or the show, which the best thing, what drew most people to it was the fight scenes. The fight scenes were very well choreographed, and they were just epic. I loved to watch the fights. Like, that was my favorite part, aside from the character developments and my note cards over there. I have no. But I enjoyed the fights. Alongside, this is also where each character has their own story. And because each character has their own story, you get a feel of each character. You can tell their feelings, you can tell their emotions towards one another, stuff like that. And I enjoyed that. Now, this is the guy from Law and Order, Vincent D'Onofrio. And yes, he is Kingpin, or Fisk, as we should call him for now. And the way I feel like he best portrayed the Kingpin just because of its intimidation factor, which I felt Kingpin needed. And because of that, he was able to look threatening throughout the series without being threatening all that much. Well, he is threatening all, you know what I mean. And next person I want to talk about is Charlie Cox, who also plays Matt Murdock. Now, Mr. Cox I felt like he did a really splendid job playing a blind guy, seeing that he isn't. And Mr. Cox is, as you saw, a really good actor if you watched the series, and if you didn't, I'm going to say it again. He's a good actor. I'm just cutting through this real quick. Deborah Ann Wall is, as you know, or should know, is Karen. Miss Wall, I felt like the way she portrayed the emotions that you see her, the horror, the sadness, the excitement, all that. I felt like it was genuine in some aspect, and I love that. And all good actors, including Eldon Henson, or Foggy. And Foggy, I felt like all these characters, including Foggy, had a part that seemed independent. Now, because of this, I enjoyed it. And with all the bigger actors that I went through, I feel like the whole cast was perfect. And now, because of the actors, of how great they were, it made me somewhat feel what they felt, which goes into immersion. So, with all that, I have to make a verdict. Now, I just sat for the past minute, coming with anything I had problems with, and I had really no problems with the show. So, for Death's review, give it a 10 out of 10. Gotta love the gore, because all of the gore, they really didn't hold back on the gore. I loved that, and it was fun. So, thanks for watching. Become a Left to the Fan today. Subscribe and like for some more reviews, and that shall be about it. Thanks for watching.